Okay, so I think I've made an error today because I somehow think my other camera was not recording when I was doing my breakfast or the prep of my soup. Go me. Still a learning curve, but now I think I have cracked it. So I am moving on to making my potato crust quiche. I've obviously got some potatoes that I am going to peel and grate. So without further ado, I'm going to crack on with that. If the soup maker starts to blend, I will be whizzing this into speed motion so you don't hear that noise. Just had to pause for a minute because the grater is full of potato. I've got one large potato left to go, so I'm just going to put it out on my cheesecloth because I have now invested in cheesecloth rather than using the kitchen towel to squeeze the water out. So I've just laid this on the countertop and I'm going to decant the potato I've already grated onto this, or as much as I can, because it is a messy job. It's not the cleanest job at all, and the potatoes are full of moisture, but we want to get as much of that out before building our base into our quiche dish. So, like I say, I've popped this in the cheesecloth. Now I'm going to grate this last very big potato. I figured doing extra potato would make sure I can actually make the tart shell absolutely perfect. I was a little bit short last time. I'm also using a different tin. Right, let's get this out and remove all the excess water from it. I mean, you can see in the bottom of the grater how much has come out already. So I'm going to get that before I tip this out, because no point putting extra in to squeeze it out if I can already get rid of it. There we go. Now to squeeze that moisture out. Right, I think I've got as much moisture out as I could. Definitely looks a lot drier. I'm going to just get my dish that I'm using today. So let's get on with making the potato base crust. What I am going to do this time though, which I didn't do before, is pre-bake it so it has a nice crisp bottom. Last time it tasted fine, but the bottom wasn't very crisp, so I would like it to have a firm, crisped up bottom so that I can get it out. I've started filling the base. I think the next time I do this, I may help myself out by adding an egg to the potato to make it form together slightly better, but this doesn't work too bad. I've lined this with baking paper. So it's coming together. I definitely think I've got enough potato to fill this better than I did last time. I'm hoping so anyway. It's definitely drier, but it still sticks to my hands. So just gradually building the sides now. Just hope that it frees up from the sides when it's cooked. I should think it will. Excuse Bella shouting her appearance. Just announcing she's here to everybody. Know she likes to be the centre of attention. She's a star in her own right. Don't know if I will have time to film everything I wanted to film today. Some things with phone calls and visitors and just life in general kind of has made today a bit more tricky than I wanted it to be. But that's okay. Life happens, and that's what my channel is all about. Real food, real life. And of course, fitness too. And balance of everything. Because that's what works. try and fill in any gaps, because we don't want a gappy crust or a gappy base to the crust. I'm just going to take this to the oven and bake it a little bit while I mix up the filling, just so it gets a crisper base, because that's what we would like this time. Now I'm going to make my quiche topping in this Pyrex jar. I am going to be using 4 eggs. I'm going to be using a full tub of low-fat, fat-free cottage cheese. I have got 40 grams of reduced fat mature cheddar. I've got some tomatoes, which I'm not going to use the whole punnet. I have got some peppers, sweet peppers. I've got some leeks. I've got some bacon medallions that need to be used up, so they're going to go in. And I've also got some mushrooms that need to be used up, so I'm going to use some of these too. To beat together the eggs and the cottage cheese first. There we go, 4 eggs. Just beat these lightly. That's lovely. Take the lid off the cottage cheese and we're going to put all that in there. Get it all out. Some people blitz the cottage cheese because they don't like the curds. I didn't last time and it didn't bother me at all. So why not enjoy that texture? Get them all mixed in. There we go. So I have got my grater here for the 40 grams of mature cheddar, and I'm going to grate some of it inside, but I am going to save some to grate on the top too. So let's have a look how we're doing. about half, which I think is about right to go in the middle of the quiche. Just blend that through. There we go. Let's get some of these peppers cut. I might have too many, so I'm going to do one at a time first to see where we go with that. Bella is being very vocal today. Let's bring that into view. Cutting it small so you get some in each bite. Nice and flavoursome. There, that's the red pepper. In it goes. Now onto a yellow one. The other recipe I wanted to do today, I wanted to do a nice sweet treats of baked oats, but I think, I don't know, maybe I will get time. Time's ticking on. We shall see. Maybe they won't take so long to prep. Pepper cut, I'll just plop this in there. Give that all a nice mix. It's nicely combined and mixed up. So now I'm going to add in my leek. And get that all combined in. So lots of free foods and speed foods again. The eggs are a free food. The cottage cheese is a free food. The peppers and leeks are a speed food. The bacon is a free food. The tomatoes and mushrooms are speed foods, and the 40 grams of reduced fat cheddar is one healthy extra calcium. But obviously this quiche will do more than one person. It will make a few nice meals for a couple of us. So it will only be a fraction of a healthy extra calcium choice. Let's get some tomatoes in there. I think those will be enough. I actually think what I will do is make this a prettier quiche than last time, and rather than mix in the tomatoes and the mushrooms, I'm going to decorate the quiche and make it nice. So I will just rinse off my board. I want all the pepper juice on the mushrooms or tomatoes, and I'm going to cut the mushrooms first. Let's pick a few nice ones out. I'm going to do 3 of each, and by the time they're sliced that will be plenty. And I'm going to slice them and make sure there's no peat on top of them. I might actually put a few very small bits of cut mushroom inside the mix, but these are for decoration. There, it's going to be nice on top. There we go. One more tomato to cut. This knife needs sharpening a bit. And yes, I am going to cut a few smaller mushrooms up and pop them in to the mix. I'm going to cut them. In fact, I will use a special gadget. Now, if you saw my shorts, you would have seen that I invested in this a little while ago, and this dices things beautifully. And just like that, although mushrooms are kind of stuck in there, so we'll just poke that through. But it's great it comes with this little tool. Not so great that a mushroom gets stuck, but it has saved me a very long job. It's all dishwasher safe. very sharp though. That will do for now. There, perfect. Just some nice little slices of mushroom. And there you go. It was that gadget that helped me prep my peppers and celery for my soup in advance. There. So now we just need to add the bacon and herbs to that. Using medallions, just cutting them into some smaller pieces. And we're going to get mixed into the body of the quiche. There's only bits that are too fatty, like that bit. That is not going in. Because we want this to be as healthy as possible. And losing weight doesn't mean adding the fat back in. To maintain my slimmer figure and everything in moderation. So medallions are much healthier in themselves, but occasionally you do, like this one, you get some with some fat in. So we tend to trim off any bits that are too fatty. Well, I do anyway. It's going to go in the oven for 40 minutes. Cook off. I can't wait. If only I was having some when it was warm out today. It's easy enough to bring back to a nice heat. Just warm it in the oven for about 10 minutes. Slice. Nearly done. There. all going to get mixed in as soon as I rinse my hands. Lovely. Let's combine that in with everything else. And before I forget, a sprinkle of black pepper. And some mixed herbs. They're just standard mixed herbs. No escaping bit of mushroom. All those bits. I think I need a bigger jug. Okay, that's that done. Now I am just going to get a heat resistant mat. Oh, trivet. And there is the pre-cooked potato base, which we're going to fill. Right, see, I'm doing this cautiously to make sure A, it all fits in, and B, if there's anything I need to move around, like the bacon, to make sure there's some in every area. I want to make sure that every slice has some. Could have maybe had an extra egg in there, I think, but that's good. Right, let's pop these other mushrooms on. Very big piece of mushroom. I didn't cut that very thin. Get all the tomatoes in now. losing the seeds, of course. There. And the last thing to do is to grate on the rest of the cheese. There. Let's pop this in the oven for 40 minutes.